In today's live stream, we're going to be continuing to take a look at a scenario where civilization starts over. We are now on episode 58 of the series. And in the last episode, we saw a lot more stuff to do with the Unitarians. Like Rome joining the Unitarians. Some more stuff happening with the Unitarians in South America. And even a massive, big meteor hit in the middle of the Indian Ocean, right about here. It wiped out all of Sri Lanka. That's where civilization began. It also wiped out the southern tip of India. Like that. It's also wiped out a large portion of Djibouti right here. It also wiped out a bit of Tanzania as well. So to start off, we're gonna focus more on the Unitarians. Why? Well, that's the main focus of the series right now, isn't it? So a large bit of this area decides it's gonna join. All these provinces over here will join. Even the areas around the capital of Brazil will decide to join. Will join now. Even some areas near here will join up. So that's all of it for now. That's gonna be it for now. We'll take a look at how this comes to be later in the episode. Well, now we can just do. Those two countries are now fully integrated into South America Unitaria. The capital would most likely be right here. You know what? Since I'm actually. We're actually going to put it right there. We're actually going to be focused more on Unitarianism this episode. Because we also see another country doing some more Unitarianism. We're actually going to be seeing all of these northern countries over here decide to join up on Unitarianism. So from Greenland all the way over to Korea, this country right here, they're all going to be coming under one country, more Canada Unitaria, or Greenland Unitaria. That's what I'm going to call this Unitarian country. Now, Korea, how is Korea going to react to this? Another Unitarian on their doorstep? They actually like the Unitarians. They work closely with the Unitarians. already. So they're familiar with Unitarianism. Their population is thinking of also uniting with the Japanese and even these guys over here under one. Even the government might is trying. Even they're working with the governments of Japan and Macau to try and unite under one. So yeah, it's pretty interesting how this has affected a lot of the world. While this was happening, however, another meteor has landed somewhere on Earth. Where has it landed? It landed over here in the Gold Australian country. Right about there. It wipes out a whole bunch of land for Australia. How is this going to affect some countries around them? Well, it's going to wipe out a large portion of New Zealand. It's even going to wipe out New Caledonia and this area from the Indonesia Unitaria. To an extent, also, it wipes out an entire country. It wipes out this entire yellow country right here. Yeah, we're gonna have to pay attention to these meteors. Because this is a strange phenomenon that the world is still trying to figure out. Well, getting back to the Canadian or Greenland Unitaria, we're going to head back over here to fill in the rest of this area. This area was at war before, but it's good now. I'm just gonna do this first. But, Unitarianism is pretty good so far. Like, it's working out for the entire world already. But yeah, that's the first step for Unitarianism here. Now time for Yukon. Yukon. Yeah, I'm calling this country Yukon. Because it's near Alaska. Because it borders Alaska. So. Well, how does Cascadia feel about Unitarianism right on their doorstep? Um, they're chill. They're pretty chill with it. Don't know why. I don't know how they're so chill right now. I don't know how they're chill with this, but I guess it makes sense. Sorry, my eyes are just watering. Don't worry about that. So yeah, Unitarianism is pretty popular already. Now, how does Quebec feel about Unitarianism too? They actually are in support of Unitarianism. They think that it could work out. They might want to join this Unitarian country soon. But due to historical um, moments with Quebec, I don't think they'll allow it right now. But maybe in the near future. Who knows? I don't know what the future will have in store for Quebec, but I think the future will be nice to Quebec. This area was also recently under Quebecy control, so like in World War III. Were released during after World War III, so I have a feeling they don't want to be with Quebec right now. is a pretty huge step for the world. Even for these Canadian countries. Well, how does Florida feel about Unitarianism? Because their ally of Cascadia is actually pretty friendly towards the Unitarians. How does Florida feel? Oh. Well, wait. What just happened? What is going on? Uh-oh. They just doubled. I don't know how. Oh. They just took the nukes from the non-nuclear Hyannis bombs from the Cascadians. And they get kicked out of the economical alliance and the military alliance and even the defensive pact between them. Not good. I guess that's Florida's response to Unitarianism. Sorry. Well, how about Great Lake? Well, how about Ohio? Yeah, I'm just gonna call this country Ohio. I don't know what else to call it. How does Ohio feel about Unitarianism? They actually like Unitarianism. Well, what about Ontario? Their neighbor Quebec likes Unitarianism. How about them? Surprisingly enough, they do. They also do. Yeah, the world is in support of Unitarianism already. I just don't know how in God's name they are already liking this. Well, Unitarianism is a unification, but there's still countries are still there. They just don't have sovereignty under Unitarianism. Like they still have autonomy. Like they're still countries. They're like multiple. Like all their provinces are still part of their own country. They're just under one flag. That's basically what it means. There will be a lot of events in this episode, so this episode might be longer than usual. Might be longer than World War IV. Who knows? Let's check back up on South America Unitaria. Oh, that's nice. While this was happening, I guess South America Unitaria has officially become a thing. I guess this was happening during the unification of the Canadian countries into one. So now, where is the new capital of Greenland Unitaria going to be? It's actually going to be right here. So, yeah. Immediately, both Unitarian, both Greenland Unitaria and South America Unitaria will join in on the military alliance of the Unitarians. And they also will join in on this economical alliance as well. Well, how is Cascadia feeling about this? What was their reaction to, well, this? Oh. They joined the Unitarian Military Alliance. For why? Who knows? Oh, they also joined in on their economical alliance? How? I don't know. But, yeah. Now I guess it's time to update this. This is outdated. There's now 6 Unitarian countries now. What's happening with Ohio right now? Florida does not like Unitarianism, so what are they going to do about that? About how... Oh. Well... They send their forces into on Ohio. Why? I don't know. They are very close to the border of the Unitarians. Unitarians will step into the war on the side of Ontario, hoping that Ohio will be saved. But, I really don't know if they'll be able to be saved from the Floridians. Because they are steamrolling to their capital city fairly quickly. They cut them off from the Atlantic Ocean. They seized Bermuda. They begin to make their way towards the capital city. They take it with relative ease. And they will sit down with a peace treaty, sit down with Ohio to settle a peace treaty of this war. In the peace treaty, Ohio will lose Bermuda to the Floridians. They will lose a large portion of their country. You might notice I'm drawing individual line areas. Well, those are the provinces they're annexing. They annex a pretty large province right here. That's the largest province. They take a little more over here. They take a province near the Great Lakes. And now, Florida is actually going to sit down with Ontario, and they will let them take some provinces away from Ohio. Ontario's like, sorry, Ohio, it's free land. We're sorry. We were forced to do this. So they'll be forced to take this land from Ohio. Cascadia will see this as prime opportunity to expand and take a province away from Ontario, Ohio. And the Unitarians will offer some provinces in Ohio to join up with them in the hopes of preserving. And Ohio is actually going to reluctantly agree to the Unitarians' proposals, so we see a large number of provinces break away and join up with the Unitarians. You might see it, one province is right on the border here of this large province right here, which the Floridians took. Yeah, that's bad. Florida is not too happy about that. We'll see their reaction soon enough. So yeah, this is pretty interesting. Now Cascadia is just getting They only annexed one province. Ohio is very small now. Florida is very aggressive towards countries that like Unitarianism. We saw what happened with Cascadia. Who knows if they are going to continue their invasion? If they might invade into Ohio once again. Ohio barely has access to the Atlantic Ocean. They are almost completely landlocked. Florida is significantly bigger. So is Ontario. Ontario will decide to join in on the Unitarian military alliance and economical alliance. Well, I mean Ohio, so I'm just gonna put this like near the border. So sorry about if that messes up the border, but I have to put it there because of they barely have access to the ocean. So yeah, I'm gonna put it close to the border. So if Florida ever decides to go to war with Ohio ever again, they will immediately be at war with the Unitarians. How is Florida's reaction to that? Well, they invaded into Venezuela, into the Venezuelan country. Why? Who knows? But they caught their ally in Central America in the war against the Venezuelans. Immediately, the Venezuelan capital gets captured. They begin to reach over to the border. They begin to go down the coast of the Venezuelan country, and almost immediately they reach the border of South America Unitaria. We see Central American troops entering in to Venezuelan territory, now completely cutting off Venezuela from receiving any foreign aid, or that we know of through the ocean. But Central America is making great progress against the Venezuelans. And then something interesting happens. The South American Unitarians and Ecuador are gonna go over to Florida and Central America, and they're like, stop this war, or else we'll be forced to intervene. You're repeating on the sovereignty of Venezuela, who is working greatly close with our countries. If you If you keep going, we'll be forced to intervene. You don't want war with the Unitarian Military Alliance. Your former ally of Cascadia is now in our alliance. Even a country you just invaded is in our alliance as well. You do not want to fight us. We are stronger than all of your allies combined. Stop this war. How does Florida and their allies feel about this? Oh, they stop. They sit down with. They will meet in the capital city of the South American Unitarians for a peace deal, which the provinces will be lost from Venezuela. So a large number of provinces, these provinces right here, which are on the border of Central America, will go over to Central America. As for Florida, they annex the islands over here, and even these 3 islands, which I've actually been to 2 of these islands. Here, I'll show you. Here, I'll show you. Here. So this is the... So I've been to Aruba, and I've been to Bonaire. Those are both a part of the Netherlands. So that's pretty interesting. So this province right here, including the capital city of Venezuela, the capital province of Venezuela will fall over to Floridian control. Venezuela will lose a lot of provinces to Florida and their allies. Ecuador will be forced to go over to Venezuela, and they're being like, we'll give you some land in exchange for protection. Well, give us some land and we'll give you protection. They will agree. So they'll get the provinces along their border here. They even make a deal with the South American Unitarians to cede over a large portion of their country in exchange for protection and military protection and economical protection. So Venezuela is reduced, heavily reduced. Florida is maybe becoming the new Quebec of the series. Quebec was all over the place. So the world is looking pretty different already. We are getting close to a very, very, very big tension. A lot of tensions are happening with Florida and the rest of the world, including Florida's allies with the rest of the world. We saw the Unitarians stepping up and intervening on these conflicts and having to take land and recruit them into their alliance. The reason Cascadia joined is because they were afraid Florida would invade them. Also, Venezuela is going to need a new capital. They'll put it right here. They will actually put it inland. And then they will... Ecuador and Venezuela will join in on the Unitarian military and economical alliance. So yeah, the military alliance is pretty big already. Keep in mind, there is an economical alliance. And that's going to do it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of What If Civilization Started Over. I'll see you guys very soon. Goodbye.